Now, in an emotional letter to the family of decorated soldier Nathan Hunt, who are fighting to memorialise their son TM's life by adding his name to the National Armed Forces Memorial, Harry said he wishes he could help the family had I been in the same role I once was. In the letter, which features the Prince TMS logo, Harry writes, "I deeply empathise with what your family is going through and so wish I could assist formally, had I been in the same role I once was." Harry had served alongside Nathan in Afghanistan in 2008, but Nathan took his own life in 2018 after suffering from severe mental health problems thought to be linked to his military service. Representatives for the Duke of Sussex have been contacted for comment. Additional reporting by Chloe Davis follow for below for live updates. Prince Harry, 37, will cover his lifetime in the public eye, including his time in the military, marriage, and fatherhood. The Duke of Sussex, said the memoir, to be published by Penguin Random House, will be written not as the prince he was, but as the man he has become. But royal expert Richard Kay has claimed Prince Charles is dreading the release of the book as it stands as a constant reminder of Princess Diana. Speaking to Palace Confidential on Mail Plus, Mr. Kay said, "I think the difficulty for Prince Charles is that every time Harry opens his mouth, he seems to chip away at his father's credibility, and this must be undermining their relationship. They have on the horizon the prospect of Harry's autobiography or memoir. We don't know what's going to be in it, but we do know he has spent some time digging into his mother's relationship with his father. They must be dreading the publication of that book and what it will mean. We're edging closer to the Prince of Wales becoming monarch, and every time these embarrassing situations erupt with his son, it reminds people why they have problems with the prospect of Charles as king. He's done his best over the past 20 years to rededicate himself to his future subjects, but there are obviously difficulties. People still haven't forgiven or forgotten the Diana years, and Harry's constant reminder about the past makes this a really tricky transition period for Charles. It comes as Harry is under pressure to name the royal racist in his upcoming book, The Sun has claimed. Speaking to GB News, Ms. Schofield said, "Isn't this just the tackiest rumor in the world? I believe the publishers are going to continue to perpetuate this rumor because quite frankly Prince Harry has gone way overboard on oversharing this past year. Don't miss what is there left to know. This is the only secret left for the Sussex couple. I think that we're going to continue to hear this rumor because it's really the only thing that might send people to the bookstores to purchase this book. The article that I've read about the rumor also suggests Harry is going to go deep into his mother's background. I love that idea. I think this is a great opportunity for Harry to brand himself as a leader and as somebody worthy of giving us guidance and advice on how to be better humans. Unfortunately, if he goes this route, it really looks tacky. It's going to completely sever his ties with his family, especially his brother. I think his brother will be disappointed in him if they continue with this narrative. I really hope that it's not true, but I don't think this rumor is going to go away because frankly it's really the only thing that they have that the entire world is curious about, and that might sell a few books." Duke of Sussex, 37, who stepped back from his role in the royal family last year along with his wife Meghan Markle, 40, was branded the most famous job quitter in history aside from his great-uncle King Edward VIII. Harry, who now lives in California, took part in a Q&A about mental health with American business magazine Fast Company this week. A former working royal and former soldier, the Duke is now the Chief Impact Officer of mental health and coaching firm BetterUp. He said, "ITMV actually discovered recently, courtesy of a chat with BetterUp Science Board member Adam Grant, that a lot of the job resignations you mention are in TMT all bad. In fact, it is a sign that with self-awareness comes the need for change. Many people around the world have been stuck in jobs that didn't TMT bring them joy, and now they TM putting their mental health and happiness first. This is something to be celebrated." Harry, who has famously opened up about his own mental health on several occasions, may have had good intentions with his remarks, but they did not go down well in some quarters. Ms. Elsa claimed the comments made Harry look out of touch, pointing out that many people are not able to leave their jobs, even if they do not make them happy, because they do not have the same personal wealth as he does. She jibed, "It is this man, a man with a startling paucity of real-life experience, who is readily offering up career wisdom, something that makes about as much sense as asking Prince Andrew for dating advice or Prince Philip, back in the day, for driving tips." She added, "What the joy of quitting trademark brouhaha has done is strip away the veneer of his Call Me Harry trademark knockabout bloke public persona and reminded the world that he is a man who up until last year lived off his father TM's generosity and never had to pay an electricity bill in his life." The royal writer claimed Harry received millions of dollars from his father Prince Charles until the age of about 35. After Meghan and Harry announced last year that they intended to step back from their royal roles, much speculation was made over their finances. He claimed that his family had literally cut me off financially in the first quarter of 2020. Financial accounts were then released that showed that Charles continued to fund Meghan and Harry into the summer of last year. At the time, Harry faced claims that his allegation about being financially cut off did not match the financial records. A spokesperson for Prince Charles and his wife Camilla TM's Clarence House addressed the apparent discrepancy between the two timelines. They said, "I wouldn't TMT acknowledge that they are dramatically different. All I can tell you are the facts." Harry and Meghan TM's own spokesperson also attempted to clear up the matter, claiming that Harry had not been referring to the first quarter of the calendar year, but actually the financial year, which in the UK begins in April. They said, "You are conflating two different timelines and it TMS inaccurate to suggest that they're TMS a contradiction." Harry also paid a large amount of money into the sovereign grant last year to cover the costs of his and Meghan TM's refurbishment of their former home, Frogmore Cottage, which had been paid for by the taxpayer. Sky News reported that Harry TM's £2.4 million repayment also included rent the couple had accrued at Frogmore Cottage. Ms. Elsner added that Prince William now looks like the golden child after his brother TM's various controversial media appearances, especially with his new Apple Fitness Plus Time to Walk series. She claimed the contrast between what the two are doing is stark and even suggested it may be embarrassing for Harry. Duchess of Cambridge hosted the festive event, which was attended by a number of members of the royal family, at Westminster Abbey in London on Wednesday. The carol concert is set to be broadcast on ITV on Christmas Eve at 7:30 p.m. Kate wore a festive red dress and heels for the carol service, while William was smart in a suit and tie matching his wife. In a touching nod to Her Majesty, the Duchess wore a pair of earrings owned by the Queen. Kate styled her glossy brunette hair in curls which she wore loose around her shoulders. In a moving message for the Together at Christmas service, the Duchess said the coronavirus pandemic showed the importance of simply being together. She said, "We have lost loved ones, seen our frontline workers placed under immeasurable pressure, and we have experienced heart-wrenching isolation from those we hold most dear. Alongside this, we have seen how communities have come together to support those most in need. And through our separation from others, we have been reminded just how powerful human connection is to us all. Just how much we need one another. And how loving and feeling a sense of belonging to one another can provide comfort in tough times. The importance of simply being together." Kate added, "Christmas is a time when we can reflect on the past, listen to one another, focus on the relationships that nurture us and build our resilience, so we can look forward to a brighter shared future." The royals were out in force with Sophie Wessex, Zara, and Mike Tindall, Princess Beatrice, Edoardo Mopelli-Mozzi and Princess Eugenie joining the Cambridges. Carol Middleton, Pippa Middleton, James Middleton and his wife Alizé Thevenet were also seen arriving at the event. The concert reflects on the challenges of the COVID pandemic and pays tribute to the people and organizations who have supported communities throughout. Carols were sung by the Westminster Abbey Choir as part of the festive event. Singers Ellie Goulding and Leona Lewis were among those performing at the festive gathering. The Duke of Cambridge, British Paralympian and junior Dr. Kim Daybell, and presenter Kate Garraway, whose husband Eric Draper spent a year in hospital after contracting coronavirus, all gave readings. And there was a performance of To the Day, a composition created for the occasion by poet and writer Lem Sissay. Among the guests were people in community networks, charitable organisations and the patronages of the Queen, Prince Charles, and Camilla, and the Cambridges. Those who William and Kate met and spent time with during recent engagements also attended, as well as armed forces personnel involved in Operation Pitting, the UK's evacuation of civilians from Afghanistan after the Taliban takeover. The concert is being aired on ITV after a last-minute switch from the BBC following a row over a documentary last month. BBC Two's The Princes and the Press, presented by self-avowed Republican Amol Rajan, looked at the relationship between William, Prince Harry and the media. In a rare joint statement, Buckingham Palace, Clarence House and Kensington Palace hit out at the two-part documentary. The three royal households criticised the programme for giving credibility to overblown and unfounded claims. The controversial documentary prompted the royals to snub the BBC and move the broadcast of the carol service to ITV.